If you have been watching my side channel, then you're probably already up to date with what's going on. Well, kinda. I'll have a link to it in the description, the pinned comment. If you guys are interested. Now, I feel like it's almost a certainty at this juncture that when an Asian game gets announced and is shown to have realistically any type of culture, it gets the the good old swippy swap at the very last minute. This results in players getting triggered, even with the knowledge that this was a potential outcome. It always is. Hey, my name is STIX, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about a very hot topic concerning NIKKE, which is a brand new one of actually the most anticipated games of 2022, and how its censorship has triggered a lot of its player base. Was it warranted though? Or are players merely hating because it's a hobby that many of us seem to share? Quick shout out to our patrons over on Patreon. This allows you to directly support us if you're interested. Every patron will have their name appear at the beginning of every single YouTube video, and you'll be immortalized in the MMO genre forever. Now, let's not act like we're new to censorship. We're gamers after all. And this is especially common when it comes to Asian games. But just because something is common, just because this type of censorship is common, does not mean that it should be expected, nor that it should be accepted. Especially when you take the time to advertise your game as having some of the hottest goddess-like waifu bait that you'll find anywhere online. With this in mind, marketing material for NIKKE was actually pretty wild. The teasers, the trailers that they released left us with this impression that certain characters were going to have very specific appearances. This, coupled with the fact that the lead character designer was the very same guy that did the models for not only Blade and Soul and Destiny Child, but also Magna Carta. This left players with ridiculously high expectations. Naturally, players were absolutely ecstatic when it was confirmed that a global closed beta test was going to be held this month. The beta test in question was admittedly going to be limited, meaning that the first X number of players to log in would be the ones to obtain full access. This seems to be a more popular way of handling test phases these days. Instead of sending out 1,000 different beta keys, they send out several thousand, and then they just tell people, you know what, go wild. First come, first served. After that limit is reached, the doors close. It's just that simple. Unfortunately, while I did have access to the closed beta test, I was doing something else at the time that prevented me from securing my spot, but that has not stopped me from perusing social media to see what players that got into the beta test were saying about the game. And that is when I happened upon this topic. This topic is growing in size across every form of social media, every platform, and that is that Annis specifically has been censored. And honestly, I cannot say with any type of certainty if she was the only character that ultimately ended up getting censored, but she is the character that everyone seems to be using as reference. On screen right now, you'll see two different images. On the left is Annis in the promotional material. This is the artwork that was used to advertise the game, and her more specifically. This is how she appeared in every form of media up until this beta test. On the right, you'll see what she looks like in the global version of the beta test. And if you're not blind, then there is a very noticeable alteration to her outfit, one that many players are unhappy with. This has led to various different threads being opened on social media, threads being opened on Reddit, crying that this is yet another case of Asian games being censored to cater to the Western audience. Shortly after, players began to post images of Annis in the Korean beta test. This version of the game was completely disconnected from the global version that we were playing on, that players were claiming was an uncensored, faithful rendition of the title, yet these images went on to depict the very same character models being used in every version. This has incited even further anger in players, as we were promised one thing and what we're being given is another. That is, if this is what the full release of the game ends up being. Now I am going to take a moment and play the devil's advocate here and present multiple different theories, multiple different reasons as to why Several of the characters, or maybe just Annis, I don't know, might have different outfits in the closed beta version of the game. On the one hand, the advertising material that was used may have depicted certain characters with outfits that they ultimately changed their minds on, and they just didn't make alterations to the trailer to reflect that. Easy mistake to make, and realistically, given we've only heard one character with an altered outfit, this definitely seems plausible. It could be that what we're seeing is Annis in her awakened form, as someone noted on Reddit. Some characters alter their outfits after fully awakening. Maybe the outfit that we're seeing in the beta test was Annis's old outfit, with the trailers reflecting her new outfit, which means that her new outfit might not be implemented in game yet, as it was altered later in development. This also seems completely plausible. Regardless, there are any number of reasons as to why Annis specifically is censored. As I have not gotten into the game yet, I cannot say once again with any kind of certainty whether any other character has been censored in any type of form or not, but what I can say is unnecessary drama being fabricated over a beta test that does not have finalized content or models is not necessary. Sure, the internet, or more so social media, is an outlet with which you can voice your concerns without fear of repercussion. But there is absolutely no reason whatsoever to spread misinformation about the game, to create drama, to fabricate reasons when we do not have a clear, definitive reason as to why this is happening. Yes, the global version of NIKKE has some form of censorship present. So does the Korean version of the game. This means that the entire game, without restrictions, has the same censorship applied, if it's censorship at all. As noted above, it could be any number of things. If it is all simply a marketing ploy though, to attempt to sell the game based purely off of false imagery, however, then yeah, raise hell. But right now, as of this very moment, at this point in the beta test, there is no need for that. Just take a moment, take some deep breaths, relax, stop creating drama online, and just wait and see what happens.